So I need you to fight like everything that you love is on the line, and fight like the tree of liberty is on fire, because I guarantee you it very much is. To this committee and to every member of the legislature, hear me clearly. I came to remind you all that every single seat in this body is up for re-election, and to understand it clearly, you're not just voting on the bill, you're defining yourself for history and posterity, and the world will be watching.
Talk to him, Lindsay! Talk to him, Lindsay!
I will come back with the same righteous indignation that has always risen when power like this forgets who it serves. And I will use every avenue at my disposal to flip all of your seats like Jesus flipped the tables at the temple. And that is a promise, not a threat.
I know her. I know her. Yeah, that's my cousin. That's my cousin. Yeah. We came in the same car together. Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Racist of the Week, where we explore the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination in hopes we can build a more perfect union. And also laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, racism. And of course, if you see any nominees, you can drop them in the comments. You can email me at admin@reesewaters.com. Now, I would like to address the deluge of comments that I've received at just how many Racists of the Weeks there have been lately. I know you're 1,000% right. And we might have to go to Racist of the Day if they keep moving like this. And yes, I'm talking about y'all, Supreme Court.
Oh, here we go again.
And yes, I 1,000% agree. This is the most accurate portrayal of the pro-Jim Crow, white nationalist Robert Supreme Court I've seen yet. It's the kind of thing that even Black Maga can explain, which is why we haven't seen Tim. No, I didn't call you. I didn't call you.
We know with clarity and certainty, as a black person, yes, look at me, I'm still black, who ideologically is aligned with their state or their district can win anywhere.
Ah, okay. So a black person that is aligned with their state or district can win anywhere. Now, what does being aligned with your state or district sound like, Tim Scott?
Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country. America is not a racist country. America, by and large, is not a racist country.
You must really hate her. No, it's a shame. It's a shame. Uh-oh.
I just love you.
No, that's good.
I have had the pain of rejection from the African-American community.
It's because you're ideologically aligned with your state and district, Tim Scott. That's what that is. I'm surprised they didn't have you pounding the table talking about America is not a racist country, but I know you only pound the table to support Donald Trump or any of the other guys who you spent your wedding with. That I can understand. But Tim Scott, just how that went for you and your relationship with the black community, as is the case with MAGA, because there's a level of incompetence that ensures they will pay double for all of their misdeeds. And with every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And this one was loud.
I have no doubt in my mind that the map's gonna pass. If y'all can give us less than 0 seats, you would do it. Y'all do this under the orders of somebody that said the Civil Rights Act was harmful to white people, that it caused reverse racism. RFK said that black children are overfilled on antidepressants and that they need to be reparented on different farms, all of them. Pete Hegseth constantly brings Doug Wilson to the Pentagon to give a prayer service. Doug Wilson is the same pastor that said that slave owners were on strong spiritual ground. I don't have no belief in no morality on anybody that followed Donald Trump. If you wasn't with this map, you wouldn't be underneath this president. You wouldn't be in your party. You would stand up, you would stand against it, you would speak out about it.
That's my cousin. That's my cousin.
So as far as I'm concerned, if you here as one of these Trump Republicans, you already showed us who you are. You showed us what you want to do. And I believe the country as a whole is rebuking your party. Y'all are in a death spiral. That's why y'all have to redistrict.
Y'all heard him. Yep, y'all heard him. I just want to see these faces.
That's why y'all have to cheat. That's why Trump got to go to Texas and say he entitled to 5 more seats. It's because y'all know what y'all doing is abhorrent. We letting our people die in Iran based on false pretense that Tulsi Gabbard and Joe Kent say it ain't real. Y'all okay with all that. So I'm positive y'all gonna be okay with the maps. But the beautiful thing is, the children that y'all have made and the people that's younger than y'all don't support none of this racism that y'all want.
Talk to him, Pastor.
The MAGA party is the last breath of the Confederacy. And I'll be happy to see millennials and Gen Z bury y'all. There will be no more of your party. The midterms gonna come, y'all gonna get wiped out. Trump gonna get dragged out of the White House, and I'ma love every second of it. Because y'all loved every second of the suffering that he caused to everybody in this country. And worldwide, we starve in Cuba. We bomb Nigeria. We holding Zimbabwe and Zambia hostage for their minerals. We don't want to give them aid support. The pro-lifers that say all life is special, y'all letting kids die of AIDS. What part of your Bible say that? Point out the scripture. I think everybody would love to see it. And we would love to see y'all in the midterms.
Hey, y'all gonna let him talk to you like that? No, I'm just trying to line them up because I know they come back gonna be trash. Hey, y'all gonna let him talk to you like that?
Your hat says Trump was wrong about everything. It should say you are wrong about everything.
That's adorable.
All right. The board is clear. The board is clear.
Burn. Andy wrote that for you?
Oh, bro. If you come for somebody and their response is that's adorable, you should lose your seat. Honestly, that should be grounds for a recall or something. That's adorable. Oh my gosh. I remember somebody told me that. That's adorable when I tried to come for him when I was in 10th grade. I just got up and left the lunch table. I said, I'm not even hungry no more. You know what I mean? I'm probably going to take the week off. I'm not even coming to school tomorrow. And you shouldn't either, sir. You shouldn't either. And by the way, it only got worse. And just because it's skin folk don't mean they got your back. Oh no, it's a whole lot of allies out here that can see exactly what you're doing.
My name is Lindsay Garcia. You may not know me today, but I hope by the time that I'm finished, you will remember how much of a problem I can become for each and every one of you. You have ignored the voices of lawyers, judges, advocates like myself and Mr. Duncan himself, and I've watched you ignore the will of tens of thousands of voters in New Orleans. People far more patient than me, people with far more measurement than myself, and I need you to understand this. If I am the one standing here now, it is because every other reasonable voice has already been dismissed. We saw a man who was wrongfully convicted, who lost nearly 30 years of his life, who used the law, your law, to prove his innocence. And instead of respecting that outcome, you are enabling someone to try to eliminate the very office he was elected to hold. Do not mistake what this looks like, because it does not look like efficiency. It looks like the retaliation that it is. And I'm going to shift because part of this message isn't even for any of you here. It's for the people in Louisiana who are going to be watching this message. Do not be discouraged. Do not lose hope. Do not allow them to convince yourself that your voice does not matter, because the very existence of this legislation here before you proved that it does, because you spoke, and now they are trying to silence you.
Talk to him, Lindsay! Talk to him, Lindsay!
So I need you to fight like everything that you love is on the line, and fight like the tree of liberty is on fire, because I guarantee you it very much is. To this committee and to every member of the legislature, hear me clearly. Came to remind you all that every single seat in this body is up for re-election, and to understand it clearly, you're not just voting on the bill, you're defining yourself for history and posterity, and the world will be watching. I will come back with the same righteous indignation that has always risen when power like this forgets who it serves, and I will use every avenue at my disposal to flip all of your seats like Jesus flipped the tables at the temple, and that is a promise, not a threat.
I know her. I know her. Yeah, that's my cousin. That's my cousin. Yeah. We came in the same car together. This is Lindsay Garcia, and she's become the hero everyone needed in New Orleans to speak up and let all the Republicans know that taking the rights away from Black Americans is a huge mistake, because people will show up like never before now. Just watch. Our voices matter. Shout out to Lindsay Garcia and everybody who spoke up on behalf of Black folk and democracy. And she brought up so many points. But let's start with the fact that she talked about what they're doing proves just how much our voices in fact matter, as much as they try and spread the message that it does not. You wouldn't be engaging in all of this if that was the case. And speaking of said voice, it's not exactly going your way now, is it? Huh? We ain't lobbying the refs in the midst of a sweep. Oh no, we on the wrong side of that thing, are we not? Oh yeah. Yeah, I can hear it loud and clear. She mentioned associating y'all with this for history and posterity, a point I bring up as much as humanly possible. Take all the photos, take all the video, and keep them under lock and key. We will remember. They gonna look as bad as all the parents out there parading against integration in the 60s, 70s, and even the 80s. I saw y'all out there. I saw y'all out there. I think it. Hey, Alabama, you see what's going on in Louisiana? I know y'all about that action. There's a major civil rights protest taking place in Selma, Alabama right now in response to the SCOTUS decision that weakened the Voting Rights Act and the ongoing attack on Black Americans' political power.
I'm out of here! Come on now! Come on now! I want to tell you why I'm standing in Montgomery, Alabama today. It's not because I was invited. It's not because it looks good on the content calendar. It's because the Supreme Court of the United States just told Black America that the vote we bled for, the vote John Lewis took a baton to the skull for, on this very ground is no longer protected. And I refuse to watch that happen from my couch. This is about Louisiana versus Calais. The decision didn't just weaken the Voting Rights Act. It handed every gerrymandering Confederate racist legislator in the South a green light. And they are already moving not in years, not in days, but in hours. So when more than 90 organizations with leaders, labor unions, and everyday people say all roads lead to the South, I got my ass on the road. Now, some moments don't wait for you to be ready. Some moments just ask, are you coming? Are you going to show up? Are you going to be there? And that's why we're here. All of us. That's what we do.
And a huge shout out to Zachary Kirk for that. I'm not a hit dog hollering that you there, and I didn't feel a ways about that. I was gonna go. Ain't nobody tell me in advance. I didn't, because the boat bus don't go down there no more. The boat bus used to go down there, and now you got to do mega bus, and that was sold out. So that was all I had. Shout out to everybody who showed up and showed out in Alabama as well. And at the end of the day, the one thing that we can push to, the one thing that will be the true scoreboard of all of this, is how active folks are convinced to be in the 2026 elections. And they are. Black voter turnout soars amid GOP's racist Map rigging. GOP-controlled states in the South are pushing to redraw their congressional maps after the Supreme Court weakened the Voting Rights Act, paving the way for Republicans to draw new lines that eliminate seats held by black Democrats. But while Republicans may have a short-term high, their racist gerrymandering appears to be having the unintended and politically damaging consequence of boosting black voter turnout in the midterms, erasing any gains the GOP made with the voting bloc in 2024. In Louisiana, where Republicans went as far as to throw out already cast ballots and delay the House primaries to redraw a new map more favorable to their party, black voter turnout is skyrocketing. According to data compiled by Louisiana pollster John Covillion, Democrats are turning out in higher numbers than Republicans for the May 16th primaries for Senate, State Supreme Court, and the Public Service Commission, and some ballot measures which he described as atypical for the state. Not just that, but black voters make up a larger percentage of the primary electorate than previous cycles. Covillion said the current makeup of the primary electorate is 62% white and 35% black, a major shift from 2023 when the turnout was 71% white and 26% black. That doesn't bode well for Republicans in a set of GOP-pushed ballot measures. Ballot measures, you say? Huh. I wonder how that's going to go. Louisiana voters reject all 5 constitutional amendments.
This country was built on the black backs of black people across this country. And if we don't have it, you ain't gonna have it either, because we gonna tear it up.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Now, that is extremely toxic when it comes to relationships, but I love it when it comes to this country. It is 1,000% correct. Now, one of the things that the civil rights pioneers of her generation understood is we weren't necessarily all going to get on the bus to freedom, but things have been made so clear when it comes to the white supremacy of the GOP that Black Maga is out here looking crazy.
The Democrat Party is in disarray, and they're pulling out every stop to try to scare their voter base that some kind of magical oppression is hovering over them.
Hey, what that disarray look like? With these special elections, what the disarray looking like? Okay, got you. I got you. Yeah. Disarray. That's where we always go to the gerrymandering.
And then you look at Tennessee. They are losing their minds in Tennessee. You look at people like Justin Pearson, who is a clown in blackface, okay? Because one minute he started as a well-talking black person, college educated. Now all of a sudden, he's Malcolm X and Martin Luther King had a child.
Were Malcolm X and Martin Luther King well-talking, educated black people? They would be. That seems like a natural landing spot for. Maybe he don't know the meaning of words. That's why he projecting the whole like educated. Okay, I got it. Yeah.
This shit is hilarious. And one thing I do know is that Democrats, they buy and they dress up their constituents. The people that they select and put out there, like the Jasmine Crockett's and the Hakeem Jeffries and the Justin Pearsons, these people are handcrafted by the Democrat Party because they play the part well. They love to push victimhood, and then they always gotta act as though they are under oppression, because that is what sells in the Democrat Party. That is what wins votes.
Let me think about this. Now, I don't think you meant constituents. I think you meant representatives, but we already established that you don't know the meaning of words. One of the attacks that they like to level at Jasmine Crockett is talking about her education. So why would she need to be dressed up and made to be something if she came from an educated background? You've already established that about Justin Pearson. So what are we talking about right now? What are we talking about right now? You talking about somebody being dressed up and made to push a narrative? You mean like America's not a racist country?
America is not a racist country.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Same one you doing, ain't you? Same one you doing.
Okay, you look at people like Kamala Harris, who was not black. She was an Indian. Now all of a sudden she's a black woman and she has all these different accents. This is the shit that you see. Okay, so for people like Justin Pearson to be there calling state troopers boy, can you imagine if a white state trooper called him a boy? Oh my God, the city of Memphis would be burned to the ground. This is hypocrisy. These people are jokes.
I love that he went to Kamala Harris being Indian. You don't want to bring up like Rodney King. You don't want to bring up George Floyd. You want to bring up Jussie Smollett. Anything else that you want to bring up? Huh? You want to talk about Hattie McDaniel not earning her Oscars? Is there anything else not at all related to the racist gerrymandering? What do they say? If you have the facts, pound the facts. If you have the law, pound the law. If you have neither, pound the table. You pounding Kamala Harris being Indian. That's the lengths you will go to obscure the fact that this party has been moving in white supremacy for over a year. And you didn't address not one thing. Yes, Kamala.
Man, this some more bullshit.
I ain't seen deflection that obvious since me coming home late in my 20s. And that didn't work then neither.
What do you mean by that?
I just got one question for y'all. I'm arguing yes. So if black people are still voting, what are we talking about? Because Democrats up in Tennessee are acting like these Tennessee Republicans have snatched ballots out of black folks' hands, padlocked the polling places, and put Jim Crow at the front door with a clipboard and told these Memphis voters, I'm sorry, y'all, democracy is closed today. Y'all, that is not what happened.
Oh, no. What actually happened is they changed folks' districts, gave them different polling places, and then included in the law, they didn't have to notify them of the new polling places. And since you brought up Jim Crow, you mean the exact language that was used in Virginia when they were sending mailers out to black folk to convince them not to go along with that gerrymandering. They were willing to call that Jim Crow. Your party.
But let's not do this. Let me break it down and explain to you what happened down in Tennessee. Tennessee redrew their congressional map. And yes, the Democrats lost their guaranteed political playpen down in Memphis. You see, they've had such a political stronghold for so long, and they've been emotionally using the fight and the struggle of civil rights and the Edmund Pettus Bridge and all the bloodshed that happened. They've been using that in order to maintain political power in this one particular district. But y'all, lose democracy. They just lost control. You know, they didn't lose any voting rights. Everybody can still vote. Your voting rights are still intact.
Now, this is absolutely perfectly said, perfectly articulates the Black MAGA mind, because according to this woman, they just lost control. I believe guaranteed political playpen, she said. Now, keep in mind, we're talking about states that are already gerrymandered to suppress the Democratic populace. They want to go all red and suppressing the Democratic populace. But all of a sudden, having any Democratic representation or any black representation becomes a guaranteed political playpen.
You don't find that suspicious?
But not the gerrymandering we already see all over the state. That wouldn't be a guaranteed political playpen, but any black or Democratic representation would be. Now you see the lengths they are willing to go to uphold white supremacy all the way. Oh no, and I know these defenses are coming too. Reaction to Tennessee redistricting and expulsions. We are hearing reaction to the recent expulsion of some Tennessee House Democrats from committees. That decision was made by Republican Speaker of the House Cameron Sexton in response to various disruptions during last week's special session in Nashville regarding redistricting. Hey, Black Maga, we need some more. Bring the white paint. We need some more whitewashing on this one. You're going to need a lot of it. Update. Reportedly, all Dems were stripped of committees, but white male House Dems are still listed. Only black reps and women removed. Sexton and Tennessee House Republicans not beating the "it's not about race" allegations. P.S. It's all standing committees. We have screenshots. So let me get this straight. This was supposed to be a move to punish Democrats, but only the black Democrats were removed from their committees. It's 2026 and we're back to having white people in power in southern states punishing black people for being, quote, too uppity. Oh no. It wasn't just the black Democrats. See, Democratic white women, how dumb y'all look pooping on black people in your own party. They're coming after y'all as well. I mean, because what would the racism be without a sexism chaser? You know what I mean? They go to like peanut butter and jelly. You know, the racism will be lonely out there all by himself. And I love the justifications for this being about, what was that, decorum? This is about decorum. While we call an emergency session to do mid-decade redistricting. What? At the behest of a felonious president and administration. Decorum? The Ku Klux Klan was founded in Tennessee. Nothing to see here, just white folks in Tennessee being white folks. Tennessee, I want it better for y'all. I did. I want it better for y'all. When y'all chased the Christian nationalists out, and the Yahtzees, I was excited. I made a number of videos all about that. And, you know, it's like y'all haven't read books. Huh? They banning books down there? Knox County Schools adds Pulitzer Prize winning Roots to the list of banned books. They recently took Alex Haley's influential novel Roots off of library shelves under the Age Appropriate Materials Act. Age appropriate? It was some age inappropriate stuff in Queen, but not in Roots. The district is able to remove books from shelves under the Age Appropriate Materials Act. The law broadly restricts materials from being available to students if they contain nudity, abuse, sexual content, or excessive violence. While it's still allowed materials to be taught during class, the law requires materials to be removed from school library shelves. So I'm assuming we're going with excessive violence for that one, which I know would be a hard pill for y'all to swallow. As much as y'all like to make it sound like a summer elective program, now we talking about excessive violence. Tennessee and Florida, y'all got to reconcile that. And speaking of which, isn't Alex Haley a child of Tennessee? Here is the statue of Alex Haley that was erected to honor him in Knoxville, Tennessee. Now Knox County Schools has banned his most famous book, Roots. They should be ashamed. Oh no, they are ashamed. That's why they don't want anybody reading about the misdeeds in their past. And they will do the same thing as we chronicle this moment in history.
Well, there you have it. Now the Knox County schools are banning Roots from the Knox County school libraries. Roots, y'all. Alex Haley's Roots. You know, Alex Haley, a celebrated Tennessean. Roots, one of Tennessee's official state books. Literally, the state legislature, this reactionary, racist state legislature, Even they made Roots one of the state's official books, right up there with the Bible. And yet the Knox County schools have decided that it's too much, I guess.
Now, when you say it's one of the state books, as it has earned the right to be one of the state books, but now we see just how fearful they are of people actually internalizing the lessons inside Roots. So I have to ask, was it one of the state books because they saw it as aspirational? Were they fetishizing Roots?
To allow students to access Roots, because I guess we don't want them to know about the enslavement of black folks. Or you know what? Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's because Roots and the story that Alex Haley tells in that brilliant book, which is, by the way, celebrating its 50th year in print this year, tells us a story not just of oppression and marginalization, but a story of survival, a story of perseverance, a story of fortitude and strength. See, I'm starting to think that that is what all the censorship is about, y'all. It's not that white folks are afraid of letting their kids hear about oppression or racism and discrimination. It's not that they're afraid that their precious little white babies are gonna feel guilt about racism. What they're afraid of, I think, is that their white children might see how fucking strong black people actually are and have been for so long, might actually realize that no matter what you throw at black people, they just keep getting up and they refuse to die, because that's the lesson that they don't want folks to learn, right? Because if folks learn that lesson, if black folks know that lesson, of course, they might not be afraid of the shit that these white reactionaries are trying to pull right now, right? So they want black people to cower. And they want other white folks to think that history's on our side, that history is forever and always on the side of white supremacy. But what Roots reminds us is what the whole history of this country reminds us. And that is that there is no force strong enough in this world to stop the determined will of black people to be free. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to say it like they say it in Vegas, y'all. Bet on black. Always bet on black.
That was very well said. That was extremely well said. And always bet on black is pretty accurate. Unless it's me playing basketball. Don't bet on me. I'm trash. I can tell you that. I broke all sort of stereotypes when I was a boy. So yeah, I was a walking civil rights lesson. But when it comes to book bannings, the nefariousness of it actually run even deeper than I thought.
It's Banned Book Week, and I'm going to be sharing a book every day that's banned in Knox County schools. Now, before I get into banned books in Knox County, it's really important to know that the state of Tennessee passed a bill last year banning a lot of books from Tennessee high schools and education systems. I'm actually going to post the bill right after this. It's only 4 pages, but essentially it bans any sort of sexually explicit material at all. And the problem with that is a lot of schools are deeming any LGBTQ representation as like sexually explicit, as well as many books, as you well know, that shape us in high school do mention abuse or, different topics that are difficult, but they help shape the worldview of kids to have empathy for others and what they go through and how to overcome things and how to deal with traumas. I have my own opinion on all of this, on why I don't think books should be banned. However, I think it's really important you read this bill, and then the lists in Tennessee of books that have been banned. I actually have a post from last year when they first passed this of over 400 books that were removed from Knox County schools.
But here's the problem with all of that. You might be able to ban the books, but you can't ban the stories. And you can't bring the people back inside. Oh no, the people are outside and they're voting, despite Black MAGA's best wishes. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and to those that have reached out to me at admin@reesewaters.com, especially those that have volunteered for our research squad. Did you know we got a research squad? Shout out to Carrie, Andy, Jay, Sharon, Benjamin, and Jeremy. Y'all been absolutely killing it. If you wonder how we're able to churn out so much content, they are a big reason why. If you ever know that you're my hero.
You're everything I wish I could be.
And we got more on the way. I believe Jesse, Ben, Angelica, and Lars have reached out as well. If you would like to join our research squad, hit me up at admin@reesewaters.com. Now to the picks. Reese, I look forward to your videos daily. They bring me a sense of peace for sure. Laughing truly takes my mind off all the madness out there. Thank you, and continue doing great works. From Sandra. Sandra, thank you so much for that. I love the way that green looks on you. And you know what really takes my mind off of the madness and brings me peace is connecting with our community. And I couldn't do that if you guys didn't reach out to me as I reach out to you. So thank you so much for that. Hey there, you. I've been following you faithfully since I discovered your podcast last year. You're very necessary to us that are blessed to experience all of the content that you and your crew seemingly tirelessly produce. I also have been supportive of your merch and proudly wear something nearly daily as I purchase something from each collection. Dang, she got more than me. I don't even have something from every collection. I mean, I'm working on it. Keep on keeping on. We will be here with you, Khadijah, Charlie, and Nikki. I absolutely love the support almost as much as I love those smiles. And you know what we probably need is just a best of. Like just do one of them like 70s pics where they be laid out on a bearskin rug, but just with all the merch. I would love something like that. Like a best of Khadijah, Charlie, and Nikki pic. That's what we need. And while we're on the topic of best of, I had talked previously about the Who Raised Y'all face. Well, we have a new entry from Miss Angie. Now that is nice. Now that is solid work. We're almost at the point of a best of Who Raised Y'all face, and feel free to hit me up at admin@reesewaters.com if you would like to enter. That's gonna have to wait until our next entry of best of. I got Ken in North Carolina. Shout out to Rocky Mount. I got Ken that were facing the prospect of looking up at mini soldier in schools and in state office buildings. Huh? Or mini soldier. That's kind of like an alter ego kind of deal.
He was once a 5 nights a week attendee at multiple porn shops where he often brought a pizza into a private booth with him.
That's the side we went on. The other side of that newsstand.
Pizza? It was pizza, wasn't it?
And when I say it got dark, it got real dark.
How dark, Mark Robinson? How dark? Nude Africa dark? Now, I don't know what she meant by y'all like to watch and whatnot, because I don't consume that kind of content. I keep it buttoned up and, Wrong. Yeah, I watched. But I don't promote it though. I watch it. So I watch it as a release. You know, I watch it as a release, but I don't promote it though. You know, I keep it buttoned up when I come over here. You know what I mean? So the separation of church and state, separation of ratchetry and my content. Okay, that's one thing I like to do. I gotta have references to go somewhere with it. Hey, to the rest of the world, we are the world. We are the children. I love y'all. Why y'all looking at me like Michael Jackson and We Are the World?
This is no hope at all.
If you just believe, it's nowhere we can fall. You can't even get 100% of the people to agree that Casey Haley ate up Bobby Womack on If You Think You Lonely Now.
If you think you're lonely now.
Ooh,